Hello and welcome to the RDA. Welcome to the Red Devils Africa. I'm your host, Ritter, and Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all. And I wish you a joyful 2022 from the bottom of my heart. And yeah, hopefully it's also a joyful 2022 for Manchester United. Hopefully, dare I say it, this is the year we finally bring back some silverware to Old Trafford because it's been a minute. It's been a minute. And we can't keep parading like a big team, we're a big team, we're Manchester United, but we don't win silverware. Big teams win silverware, You don't want to become Arsenal. God forbid we become Arsenal. So, yeah, hopefully this is the year that brings silverware. And, yeah, nothing fancy, nothing extravagant. The Premier League's gone. Champions League's possible, I think, but it's going to be a big ask. So, I guess that only leaves the FA Cup. So, yeah, hopefully we can bring at least an FA Cup, hopefully a Champions League, and this can be a good year for Manchester United. But I know some of you are probably thinking, you're talking about trophies, but our football's shite right now. So, yeah, maybe I'm too optimistic at times. I have been told that I can be too much of an optimist when it comes to Manchester United. But yeah, today I join you alone, sadly, because at the end of the day, with all the wonder and the joy of a new year, at the end of the day, we still live in a third world country, We still live in South Africa, and power cuts are a reality. So yeah, at the moment, Shinny can't make the show because, he's facing a power cut. There's no power. And yeah, but no worries, no fear. I will carry the torch alone, I'll carry the torch alone in this preview to our game against Wolves at Old Trafford come Monday, the 3rd of Jan. And yeah, it comes at an interesting time right now for Manchester United. After our game against Burnley, which was, I guess the popular opinion is that it wasn't really a good performance, but it was a good 3 points. It was a good win, but not necessarily a good performance. And do I agree with that? I'm not entirely sure. I think yes and no. I'm a bit in between. I think for a good 30 minutes, I think I saw some positive steps in the right direction. Especially on the ball. I think off the ball we weren't great, because Ralph wants us to press, the counter press, be in their faces, be physical. It was okay, but it wasn't great. It can be much better off the ball, And I think that Burnley being quite poor in general did aid us, but on the ball, I thought it was slightly better. I thought I saw some progress because I go back to Newcastle and I go back to Norwich, and I feel like on the ball we just look like a bunch of mates just playing football together, but then they're not gelling as a team, We didn't look like a team in the final third. We didn't look like we can get the ball to Ronaldo. We didn't look like we can get the ball to our threatening players, And it just looked like, as the commentator put it, a bunch of good players, but not necessarily a good team, And I thought against Burnley, there was slight progress on that, I thought we moved the ball well. I thought we involved Ronaldo well, I think that's been a big problem for us, involving our strikers. Going back to Tony, with Cavani, but I felt like we involved Ronaldo to a decent amount, And I just thought like we looked like we had more cohesion in the final third. And I think that is a step in the right direction, Maybe I am nitpicking. Maybe I'm trying to find positives. I feel like most of you probably feel like that. But I did feel like there was a sense of progress in that sense, But Burnley was shite. I'll be honest, Burnley was shite. So I feel like we got away with not being amazing off the ball. We got away with playing Matic, who's passed it in the midfield, And whilst been talking about how we get caught in transitions a lot, we allow too many transitional periods. And I feel like Burnley didn't really have the pace on the transition to, show our frailties in that sense, So maybe we did get away with it a little bit, but it was a great win against Burnley. And what I said in the reaction, I feel like we need to work on sustaining what we do best for 90 minutes, on the ball, being aggressive for 90 minutes, high pressing for 90 minutes, being able to retain the ball, protect the ball, get a feel of the ball, but still be able to be threatening, like we've seen the cities of this world do, like we see Liverpool do, and this is a problem that goes all the way back to Jose Mourinho for me, like we've never been able to do that at Manchester United. I don't know why, but, have faith in Ralph. I think Ralph is the type of manager who shall bring such a style because he talks so much about identity, style, So, I haven't lost faith. And yeah, we move on. We move on to Wolverhampton Wanderers, and it's gonna be an interesting game. In terms of their form, They haven't played since the 19th of December. I'm not sure why that is. I don't know if it's because of COVID. Maybe it is, but they haven't played in a while. Or maybe I'm just getting messing up my date, and it was recent. But yeah, I don't think they've played in a while. And what's this? They versed Chelsea in the last game, a draw against Chelsea. Uh, I think maybe a few months back that would have been impressive. But Chelsea are quite sus right now. Chelsea are quite sus at the moment. But I think they're not a team we should take lightly. In the past, Wolves have been a bogey team for us, So we should take this game seriously. We should take every game seriously. But we should take this game seriously. And it's going to be an interesting one. They don't tend to score a lot of goals. Even when they have won, I think they won last 7 or 6 games ago. So they're not in the best form. But when they did win, they won 1-0. And when they do win, or when they do score, they score one goal. They don't really score that many goals. I think that is down to Raul Jimenez not really being in the best patch at the moment. I think all the goals come from him. Traore is just full of tricks, but no end product. He's none whatsoever end product. And they don't really have the attacking force in the final third to really score goals on a consistent basis. It's just Raul Jimenez. But besides that, they've got nothing. But going back to the game we played against them at the beginning of the season, they did worry us on the transition a lot. They did worry us. I remember Fred, I think Fred played in the game, and yeah, he was having a howler. I think it was McFred, I'm not sure if it might have been Fred and Pogba, but I think it was McFred. And yeah, we had a stinker in that game, and Traore specifically was just making Fred dance, on the transition. We're leaving way too many spaces, like Ralph has talked about. On the transition, we allow too many transitional periods. A team just sits back, soaks in the pressure, and they just cut through us. They cut through us like we're nothing. So we have to watch that against Wolves. And important game for us. We need the 3 points. We need the 3 points. Arsenal are looking good at the moment. Spurs are looking decent. So as much as I think it's going to come down to the quality of the players, we can't take those teams for granted. And we need to make sure we make top 4. We can't be in the Europa League. We can't be in the Europa League. I had come to the real. I felt like we're past that. We're past falling into the Europa League. I felt like we've just pushed on. Our squad is too good. But there is a little bit of threat of us falling into the Europa League, and that can't happen. So we need to take this top 4 race seriously, and we need to take Wolves seriously. And I think on the transition is going to be the most important thing. We can't let them counter us because they're not going to play another way. They're not going to try to hold the ball, and be the dominant force in the midfield. They won't, because they know they're going to lose the battle if they do that. So they're going to try to get Traore on the ball and just counter the crap out of us, And we need to make sure we are not susceptible to that. And the problem with that, or what we think the problem is that McFred, can McFred handle that? Can Fred handle Traore this time, And to be honest, I think, as Ralph has talked about, it's less on the CDMs, more on the team, And I think when the team is not pressing adequately enough as a team, when we're not playing the counter press adequately enough as a team, it ends up putting our back line and more specifically our CDMs under pressure, and it exposes them, So if we're not letting the ball get to them, or we're not letting them, letting it be one-on-one with Fred or with Varane, or, susceptible to that counter, then it's, if we're getting my words mixed up. If we're pressing as a team, we're not allowing as much spaces, and we're winning the ball higher up. We're playing the counter press adequately, and we're just not letting those transitional periods, those turnovers. We're not letting them get us on the turnover on a consistent basis. Then I feel like people like McFred or people like Fred will have a better game because not under so much pressure. Our back line doesn't have to be on their toes, and people like McTominay, as we've seen against Burnley, he can be released, he can play higher up without the worry of, I have to worry defensively, I have to worry about my tackling and all that, which he's not very good at. He's not a six. I think the biggest take from the game against Burnley is that McTominay is not a 6. You just have to release him. You have to let him overlap. You have to let him get on the edge of the box and shoot. That's what he's good at. So I think what's important in this game, as Ralph keeps saying, we need to be aggressive with our press. We need to be aggressive with our counter press. We need to win the one-on-one duels. We need to pin Wolves back. We need to put them under pressure that they feel like they can't even have Traore free for the ball over the top and the counter. They feel like they can't get us on the turnover. They feel like they have to put 10 men behind the ball. They feel like that we're just under so much pressure that they just can't cope, Because the alternative, what Ole would do is sit back, And I don't agree with that. He would try fix our defensive frailties by putting men behind the ball, doing what we want to do to Wolves, doing that. And I don't think that's the answer. I think we need to be courageous, because we're Manchester United. If we're going to win anything, we have to be courageous. We need to be courageous and put pressure on them and pin them in. And I think that's how we win this game, And it's going to be an interesting one. Lineup wise, I will try edit it in. So the lineup should be somewhere around me, But if I can't do that, I apologize. You'll just have to listen to me list the players. But I will try and edit it in somewhere. And I'll start with the goalkeeper. Do we even have to? It's obviously going to be De Gea. Yeah, I think he's in not the form of his life. I think he set a high standard for himself. So we can't say that. But I think De Gea has saved us a lot this season. Much like Cristiano Ronaldo, De Gea has saved our ass a lot this season. So obviously he starts, and he's going to be an integral part, Left back, I say Luke Shaw. I think Tellez got his chance. And I think he's been overhyped. Tellez hasn't really done anything amazing in the last few, in my opinion, I think Tellez has been extremely overhyped at the moment. He had one or two decent games, but he hasn't been great, He's been okay defensively. He's been better defensively at his standard. And offensively, they speak high level, but he doesn't really do that much, Shaw has been horrendous for most of the season, but I think he grabbed the opportunity, against Burnley, I think he was amazing. I think defensively he was back on it. He was making those driving runs that he does well. He was linking up well with Sancho, and I think it's definitely Shaw for me, I think as much as Rangnick has spoken poorly about him before he got to Manchester United, I think Shaw's going to prove him wrong, I think Shaw is a good player. Roberto Carlos, what? You can't lose that overnight. So I think Shaw definitely plays. Sadly, I think Maguire plays because, who else do we have? I'm not sure if Lindelof's back. I think he might be. I think Ralph said that Lindelof hasn't really shown any symptoms. So if he brings back a positive test, then he'll play. So I think Lindelof might be back, but I still think we see Maguire because we always see Maguire. Because Man never gets injured, Man is captain, so he's hard to drop, which, is not a conversation you have to have, Should Maguire be dropped? I think so. And I think Shanique definitely thinks so, And if you've watched any of our shows recently, you know that he thinks so, And yeah, Ralph just needs to have a little bit more balls, and drop Harry Maguire because he's not good enough right now. And at bare minimum, he should be stripped of the captaincy. Personally, I think he should go to Bruno. I know some of you say Ronaldo, but I think either one of those two are brilliant candidates for the captaincy. Next to him, yeah, Varane definitely. I think Ralph did say that he wants him to be 100%. He didn't play him against Burnley because he didn't want to repeat all his mistakes of him coming back from injury and he just throws him back in the fire, But I do think he'll play today. Not today. I think he'll play against Wolves. And I think he will be, obviously, he'll be probably our best defender in the game because, we've got Harry Maguire next to him. The biggest daylight robbery Leicester pulled on us, But let's not go down that rabbit hole. But yeah, that should be a decent pairing. I think Varane will carry most of the weight. And then right back, interesting, very interesting here. I do think Dalot is Rangnick's boy. I do think Rangnick does prefer Dalot, and I think he will probably play more than Wan-Bissaka because of his offensive capabilities. But I think because we're a bit fragile at the moment, because we don't press with that intensity that it can relieve the pressure from our backline and our CDMs. I do think, especially after his defensive performance against Burnley, some people didn't like how he was offensively. I get that. But defensively, he was blocking left, right, and center, which is what we know Wan-Bissaka is good at, So I think after that, I do think as a safety net, Ralph will play Wan-Bissaka, Because, there'll be those one-on-ones where if Wan-Bissaka is playing, it's a block and it's not a goal for the team. If it's not, they score, So defensively, he will always make us better because he's one of the best defenders in the world. He's one of the best defenders in the world. So yeah, I think Wan-Bissaka will be the one to play in that position. And then the pivots, the CDMs, the two in front of the defense in the 4-2-2-2, I think we'll play the 4-2-2-2, as you can see with the lineup, if I manage to edit it in. I do think he will revert back to that formation. I think the formation change against Burnley was not a one-time thing, but it was specifically tailored for Burnley, So I do think we'll go back to the 4-2-2-2. And the first two, I think, will be our beloved McFred. I think we'll return to McFred because, one, you can't drop McTominay after that performance, I think he deserves to play. He deserves to play, If someone does well, we have to praise him, no matter who it is, I think McTominay deserves to play, and he will play. And next to him, I don't see Matic. Some of you might say Matic is the better player. No matter, even if he's lost his legs, he's still a much better player than Fred. I know some of you will feel like that. But it goes back to Ralph talking about us being caught on the transitional, us allowing too many transitional periods and being caught on the transition way too many times, I think it goes back to that. And because of that, I do think he will want the pressing ability, the running ability of Fred, As much as he's not the best tackler, I think his ability to cover ground is a reason why Ole liked him and the reason why Ralph will like him, So I do think we will see a lot more of Fred than Matic, to be honest. So I do think we'll revert back to McFred. Yes, stuff of our nightmares. But at this moment in time, there's not so much Ralph can do, It's either play Matic or the highway, Pogba's probably not ready, and he's not really good defensively either, So clearly, if we're going to reinforce, it has to be in this position, And Ralph keeps talking about if you bring in players in Jan, it needs to be players that improve you immediately, that make a significant improvement. So if he really believes that, then he needs to buy a CDM, because putting a CDM, putting a Declan Rice, putting an Ndidi, I'm just throwing names, probably not the type of player Ralph will go for, but putting a player like that in that CDM will massively improve us because we're lacking there, So yeah, we'll see there, but we do need to make a signing there. And yes, I know some of us will be like, Donny. I have given up. I have given up. I'm not going to sing the Donny song because clearly Donny's not loved in England, in Manchester. So yeah, I don't want Donny to leave, but it's probably best for his career, But a glimmer of hope, I think Ralph is more interested in rotating than Ole ever was, So maybe if we like Matic played, it's Donny's turn, Hopefully, So it'll be interesting. And another question, will pivot of Donny and McTominay be good defensively? But what's the difference between Donny and Fred? Because they're also quite crap defensively. So it's going to be interesting. I hope it's Donny, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be McFred. And then ahead of them, the two in front of them, I think Sancho definitely has to play. I think he was amazing against Burnley. An interesting thing about Sancho, I heard Ralph say, we tried simple, we tried to play players in their best positions in the attacking players in the final third. We tried to play players in their best position, and he played Sancho on the left. That's very interesting, So, and we saw Ole do this from time to time. So, is Sancho a left winger? Is Sancho a left winger? What do you guys think? You can say in the comments. Do you think his best performances have been on the left? I know Shanique has said in the past, and my colleagues and Clayton has said in the past that they feel like he's better on the right. He's a better performance on the right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've paid too much attention to it. I think he's been hot and cold in general. He's had some good games. He's had some bad games. But it's interesting that Ralph says I played my attacking players in their best positions, and he's played Sancho on the left. Apologize if there's a cut, some technical difficulties, but yeah, it's interesting that he speaks of playing his attacking players in their best positions and he plays Sancho on the left. That's very interesting, So we shall see. But I do think Sancho definitely needs to play because I think he was our best creative player against Burnley, And we know this, It's not a mistake that we bought him for 70 million pounds. It's not like Maguire, So I think we definitely need him to play because he's one of our most creative players, and we need to heal a return on our investment, you know. So yeah, and he was robbed of a goal. I'm still sour on that. He was robbed of a goal against Burnley. He deserved the goal. He was phenomenal, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see him next to Sancho. I'm gonna go Bruno. I'm gonna go Bruno here. I think as much as he's been off, it's Bruno. It's Bruno, you know. Yes, maybe he needs a dropping. Maybe Donna should come in, but I do think that Ralph will play Bruno because Bruno is a phenomenal player, you know. And you know, if you can get him back on song, if you can get him back on song, we become so much better, you know. I had a little bit of an argument with a little bit of a debate in the reaction for Burnley with Shanique, and he was saying he feels like if Bruno was playing, we would have been worse. You know, he feels like a lot of hero balls, and I disagree. I feel like firstly we were better on the ball, and more importantly, Burnley was crap. So I think with all of that, I think Bruno would have thrived. You know, I think it was a 3-1 with Bruno. Dare I say it? I think we would have won 5-1 or 4-1. You know, because I rate Bruno that much, even though he's been on a bad patch right now. I would probably play him. I would probably play him. Maybe I'm shameless, you know. But I do think Bruno will play. I do think Bruno will play. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see Bruno and Sancho play together in that midfield. And yeah, you know, there's potential there, you know. I think if we can get Bruno at his best, we can get Dortmund, Sancho. The creativity is out of this world, you know. So I'm very excited to see that partnership blossom, you know. And then the front two, Ronaldo, do I even need to say Ronaldo will always play because I do think link up wise he has been poor in terms of combining with the team, but I do think he was better against Burnley, and even so, he's a top goal scorer. You know, it's Ronaldo. He's still scoring the goals. You know, so the fact that there's still more he can bring and he's scoring so much is just exciting. You know, so Ronaldo definitely plays. I think. The most debatable position will be who plays next to Ronaldo. I think it's going to be interesting. A return of Rashford? God, no. I hope not, because Rashford has been horrible, you know. And, you know, he needs to feel the bench a little. He needs to mize a little, you know. And Cavani, he wasn't amazing against Burnley, but he was okay, you know. And Ralph seems to think highly of him, you know. But I just have this feeling. So this feeling that, you know, maybe he's going to rest Cavani and maybe he's going to play Greenwood next to Ronaldo. I'm gonna bet my money on Greenwood. You know, I think he likes Greenwood. I think he loves the ferociousness. You know, the intensity, the pace. You know, and you know he's a brilliant player. He hasn't really played him in striker. He's played him in midfield when he plays him. You know, so and you drift into the right more. You know, but you know I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go on a hunch and just say he's gonna play Ronaldo and Greenwood up front. You know, and I think that has great potential that front two, you know. I think Mason, as we know, is a brilliant player, you know. And if we can get them clicking, you know, I think highly of Cavani and Ronaldo as well, you know. But I do think Cavani, Ronaldo, Mason, you know, I think it can be great for us for the rest of the season. Personally, I think Tony as well, you know. But, you know, Tony seems to have been put aside at the moment, which is sad because I do think Tony's a really good player, you know. I've been told by opposition fans to overhype him. I disagree. I think Tony's a good player, you know, and I do want him to stay at Manchester United, you know. Rashford must mize. He must mize. We love him, you know. He's a national treasure, but he must sit on the bench, you know, and think about his life decisions. Think about his decisions on the pitch, you know, because they've been horrendous. So yeah, that's my predicted lineup, and it's gonna be an interesting game, you know. Old Trafford games, you know, they're our favorite, you know, because especially this season or especially this year, you know, when there's optimism, Old Trafford is bouncing, you know, and I love it, you know. And for that, that noise, you know, that passion can be accompanied by really front foot attacking football. Old Trafford nights would be amazing, you know. I mean, opposition fans already love us, you know. They already watch us, you know. They love to hate us, you know. So we might as well step it up a notch, you know, and give them some entertainment, you know. But I think it's going to be an interesting game. Score prediction. I've been going big, you know. I tend to go big, you know. And then I am the romantic. I'm the football romantic on this channel. I won't deny it, you know. And Shanique tends to reel me back in. But, you know, sadly for you realists, Shanique ain't here. Shanique ain't here today. So, what will the scoreline be? I think we'll win. I don't see us going backwards. I think we're bad against Newcastle. I thought we improved against Burnley, and I have so much faith in Ralph that I think we're going to move forward. So I shall predict I'm gonna regret this. I'm gonna go 4-0 United. I'm gonna go 4-0 United. I think it's gonna be a clean sweep. I think we're gonna finish them, and I think we're gonna take the 3 points. But yeah, that has been the preview to Wolves vs Manchester United. We do this every week. We're always here. Previews, reactions. So if you love the content, please give us a sub. Please give us a like. We recently just reached 200 subscribers, and we're over the moon about it. But yeah, please join our family. Please join our community. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the reaction. I'm pretty sure Shanique will be back. And yeah, it's gonna be a good game. But yeah, for me, Ritter, it was a good one. Peace.